rounds to our holiday special. This series will be launched every day from December 1st to the 12th, and we will give you a special mocktail recipe. So the collaborators for geriatric addiction rounds are Baycrest, Canadian Mental Health Association, Waterloo Wellington, Behavioral Supports Ontario, CAMH, Center for Addiction Mental Health, and St. Joseph's Health Center in Guelph. So the 12 Days of Merry Moderation, we're going to post a short video presentation of a live mocktail or a no alcohol beverage that's prepared by leaders in the healthcare and advocacy and community. Along with each video, you're going to see a recipe for a no alcohol based seasonal beverage, tips on how to be a good host over the holidays, links to resources on alcohol and brain health, and some key messages on making healthy choices. So our moderators today are myself, Marilyn Campbell, I'm from Baycrest, and Dr. Peter Butt, who is the co-chair of Canada's Health Guidance on Alcohol in 2022. He's also the co-chair with me on the Canadian Coalition for Seniors Mental Health Alcohol Guidelines for older adults with substance use disorders. And he is an addiction medicine physician in Saskatchewan. I am the co-chair for the guidelines and also the provincial lead for the Older Adult Substance Use Collaborative Behavioral Supports Ontario. So we have presenters from across the province, and you'll get to those as you see each of the presentations. Every day we'll post them and send you the links. And we want to just talk a little bit about the benefits of Merry Moderation, these 12 Days of Merry Moderation. We want to increase the awareness of alternatives to alcohol, to increase the awareness of the health guidance on alcohol, and help Canadians understand the benefits of making healthy choices, including healthy brains, healthy bodies, and prevention of alcohol-related dementia, as well as help Canadians be responsible hosts over the holidays to ensure their guests are not at risk of drinking and driving. So I'm going to ask Dr. Peter Butt to give us just a quick overview of the Canadian guidance on alcohol and health.
Well, thank you very much, Marilyn. And what we found out from focus groups is that people don't want to be told what to do. They want to be provided with guidance, with facts, not directives, to inform how they can make changes in their life. Next slide. You'll be familiar with this continuum of risk that hopefully has been well distributed, that shows that there's actually no benefit and indeed no real safe level of alcohol consumption. Risk of harm increases with the level consumed. The good news is that in Ontario, approximately 69% of people drink less than 6 standard drinks per week. And this includes, of course, the portion of the population that do not drink alcohol at all. Arguably, the people that we want to help to reduce alcohol consumption the most with are those in the increasingly high risk zone that are drinking more than the equivalent of a standard drink per day. Next slide. Our recommendations in the Canadian Guidance on Alcohol and Health was not to direct the population towards no more than 2 standard drinks per week, but rather to encourage them to reduce the risk of harm from alcohol by recommending that they consider reducing their alcohol use. This applies to everyone at every level of alcohol consumption, but because of the exponential nature of the curve of harms related to the amount consumed, the heavier drinkers, reducing the amount that they drink, are going to derive the greatest health benefit. Next slide. Our second recommendation is directed towards acute harms. Now, before we can really help people to make changes, it's important for people to understand what a standard drink is and increase their literacy with regards to beverage alcohol, because clearly it's hard to manage what you cannot measure. So being able to actually measure and understand what a standard drink is across all domains of beverages, all types of beverages, is an important part of this strategy. Nevertheless, when it comes to acute alcohol consumption, next slide, we do make a very clear recommendation with regards to no more than 2 standard drinks in one occasion. Above this level, most people are going to start to be in the impaired zone of blood alcohol concentration. Once people are impaired, they're less likely to make good decisions and run into acute harms, accidents, injuries, relationship problems, and so on. Next slide. The third recommendation from the Canadian Guidance on Alcohol and Health is really to reinforce the message with regards to reproductive health. If a person is trying to get pregnant, is pregnant, or is breastfeeding, the best advice is not to drink alcohol whatsoever. Next slide. So what we want to reinforce is, rather than finger wagging, but is more and more positive message with regards to the benefits of alcohol reduction. With decreased alcohol, one is decreasing the amount of calories they're consuming. They have improved sleep with more energy. It can improve cognition and memory, which is particularly important when people might be struggling with a borderline level as they age. It improves mood. It decreases blood pressure, decreases blood sugar, decreases triglycerides, decreases liver fats. This is all good news. We're not wanting to produce pate from our livers. We want a healthy liver. So decreasing the amount of alcohol has all of these improvements to our physiological profile. Contrary to a lot of the industry advertising, it improves the sex life, it improves immune function, it decreases cancer risk. We can't change our genes, but we can improve our environmental cancer risk profile, in part by reducing alcohol. Decreased risk of accidents and injuries, improved relationships, and financial savings. This is an impressive list of benefits with alcohol reduction. So through the 12 days of moderation, what we want to do is provide people with different ways of hosting or enjoying the holidays. This isn't an attack on socializing. This isn't an attack on having fun. It's rather being able to do it in a way that's healthier and reduces risk. Finally, harm reduction strategies in the next slide shows different ways that this can be done. Keeping track of drinkings. This is where alcohol literacy is important. Deciding on the amount and sticking to it as a limit. Eating before and whilst one is drinking, so the blood alcohol concentration is kept lower due to slower absorption. Choosing drinks with a lower percentage of alcohol, or indeed a no alcohol beverage. Drinking slowly in small sips, not shooting. Always having water on hand. The additional benefit of drinking water whilst drinking alcohol is reducing the hangover effect, and alternating between alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. These are very practical strategies that hopefully will be enforced over the course of the program. Thank you very much, Marilyn, for the opportunity to introduce the Canadian Guidance on Alcohol and Health, and hopefully some very pragmatic approaches.
Thank you, Peter. So I'm going to ask Peter to introduce our first speaker.
Our first speaker for 12 Days of Merry Moderation is Dr. Alex Cauderella, who is the CEO of the Canadian Centre on Substance Abuse. Welcome, Alex, and please take it away.
Thank you. So today we're going to make a peppermint surprise. We're going to start with a glass, and you're going to take some chocolate syrup, put it thinly in the bottom of a plate, gently rim the glass. All right. And then you're going to crush up a bunch of candy cane. It is very therapeutic in the holidays to spend a good amount of time smashing little things to bits. Rim the glass. You're going to put it in the freezer for 5 minutes to let it set. Now, maybe you're doing this because you want to be a little healthier. Maybe you're doing it for a loved one who's trying to cut back on some alcohol. Maybe you're doing it for just to try something new. And we are welcoming you into this. You're going to take coffee, 60 milliliters or 2 ounces. Mix that with 1 ounce, 30 milliliters of tonic water or club soda. Another 1 ounce or 30 mils of peppermint syrup. Stir the whole thing gently. Take your glass out of the freezer. We have this one that just came out of the freezer. Pour it in. And you're going to cover it with 1 ounce, 30 mils, half and half cream. Next, grab the one candy cane that survived, put it in the glass, and don't forget, any reduction helps, even a small amount. That way you can drink less and live more. Thanks. Good, sweet, delicious.